What is up, fellow bench warmers? Welcome to another episode of Fantasy Bench Warmers. I'm your host, JJT, with Komish, and we are back. We took a long break because, well, the NBA has been so quiet of late. I think we were left into a cliffhanger with the KD situation, and then everything just died down. There will be some news here and there, but nothing really noteworthy fantasy wise, I guess. Komish, how are you?
I'm fine. I'm doing well. I guess with what you said, it's just like all those series that we watch, right? When a season ends, it ends with a cliffhanger, and then you'll wait for the next season to start
Yep.
for them to have answers. It seems like that because there are a couple of cliffhangers, like KD, as you said, Donovan Mitchell
Mm-hmm.
is another cliffhanger. So there are a lot of free agents, actually, surprisingly, a lot of good free agents still available.
Yeah.
People are not talking about Dennis Schroeder,
Mm-hmm.
Montrez Harrell. They're still
Yeah.
there. I mean, these guys are not veterans. These guys are, contributors, and they're still not signed. Kobe White. Kobe White is another
Yeah, and
player
these
there.
guys like Harrell and Schroeder had
Schroeder.
early
Yeah.
fantasy impact last season, which, uh, somehow from the fantasy perspective, not really game changers, but could be the last player,
Well,
the end of your roster type of guy, or depending on
Harrell
where
was a
they
game
land.
changer for you. I think you love Harrell, right?
No, it was,
I,
not really a game changer, but he was really good early on, I guess.
yeah.
That's the only thing we
So
can say.
I don't know. I don't know why he's not yet signed. I don't know what's happening. Of course, the veterans, Melo, DeMarcus Cousins. So I really don't understand why these players are still there. I mean,
Yeah, I think
uh,
everyone's
the,
waiting for the, KD domino to fall. And like you said, there's Donovan Mitchell. So everybody's going to be waiting for those. I mean, no one wants to, and I guess those teams that are willing to sign these guys are teams that are contenders for that maybe
mm,
KD thing, and they don't want to make some moves that would, prevent them from making for better moves in the future. I guess that's where it is. I think right now there's really, really very, it's really very quiet from the NBA front. But having said that, though, the schedule is about to be released. I'm not sure if it has been released, but the Christmas schedule I think has been leaked out there. So
they will release it formally 3 a.m. I think Manila time. If I'm not sure.
today,
Later.
tomorrow,
Yeah,
later, right?
later 3 a.m. But of course, there's been leakage everywhere. Like some teams already know, like when Orlando and Atlanta will face off for the Banquero, the John Day Murray, whatever beef,
Yeah.
and then of course the Christmas games, as you said. Then which like election day, there will be no election day in the US. There will be no games and this and that. So there have been lots of leakage already. But later they will formally give out the whole schedule.
Yeah,
So maybe our
that's
next episode we could dive into
we
that.
could,
Like
yeah, the
yeah,
schedule could also be crucial, because of the finals or the playoff weeks in
yeah,
fantasy, right? I mean,
yes,
you have to
yes,
wait for the schedule to come out, and then decide which week you want to end your season. And of course, usually it's the earlier the better. But the earlier you finish, the earlier the excitement ends, or
yeah.
at least
That's true. That's
the
true.
game, the fun of playing fantasy ends. And but now it's just about to start. Two probably around 2 months into the season. I mean, before the season starts, so a lot of managers looking for leagues to play in, and our league is surprisingly almost full. I'm glad that I'm glad I'm happy and sad at the same time, because I'm happy that managers we had last season, I think, really enjoyed the season, enjoyed how we ran the league. Pretty much all of them, 90% of them, 95% of them joined again this season. So that's good. Sad because we can't put out so many, we only have so much slots and we can't accommodate everyone. But yeah, it's about to get full. Anyway, we'll get there. We'll get there. We'll try to accommodate as many as we can. I think from my estimate, the max we can do is 160 something, 169. I think that's the number.
169. Yes, yes,
12.
around that.
We are targeting 12 leagues, and then we have some leeway to add one more, but just one more, and no more else, no other leagues. So, but as much as possible, we're just gonna limit it to 12 so we can handle it better.
As of now, because both of us are thinking that one of us will join the leagues, so that we can also manage it better, and
Yeah,
we can
and that's why
look
we
at.
increase the leagues, right?
Yeah.
Increase the number of leagues. The reason why we have leeway to add another league is because of the Champions League. For next season, because instead of the top two advancing to the Champions League, we've decided to have all the champions, just champions, advancing to the Champions League, and those are 12 people. And we were hoping that Commish and I can both get into the Champions League. But if really the demand for the leagues increase, we can add one more, and then Commish and I will just co-manage a team in the Champions League. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But exciting, the Champions League. I've seen it. I posted it there. It's a diamond league because of the
Yes.
rankings of these ratings of these managers who advanced to the Champions League. So I have my work cut out for me. I'm the lowest ranked player there.
I think 10, 11, or 12 of them are diamond rated players. Also, because as we said, Yahoo has opened NBA fantasy season already. That's why we're talking about these things. We're starting to get into that fantasy groove.
Yeah.
A lot of managers
Fantasy
are starting.
excitement, right?
Yeah, a lot of managers are already thinking of when to draft. I'm sure a lot of them have joined mock drafts already.
Yeah.
This early. So the excitement is there already. That's why we're starting to prepare and plan. And Jeremy, I know, is researching because he was really shocked with how good Champions
No,
League
I was
became.
surprised. I didn't, because last year's league were a mixed bag, right? There were some leagues wherein there were a lot of diamond or platinum players, but it's pretty much balanced, not this much. And then I was surprised. I was telling Komish that I was surprised that it ended up, having a lot of diamond players advancing. And personally, I didn't really believe much into the ratings because you join lots of public leagues that are not really competitive, then you get, of course, obviously get to the higher rating. But having said that, seeing these diamond players and platinum players get into the Champions League really shows that we're able to filter out at least the best of the best when it comes to the fantasy matchups or the competitiveness of our leagues. So yeah, and having said that, with the NBA season about to start in a couple of months and the fantasy season has begun, Yahoo has released its early rankings, and well, similar to any early rankings in the past, it's atrocious rankings.
Yeah, I did say I think Yahoo just released rough draft rough first draft rankings, and then just waiting for other sites to open, and then and then change it with their next update. So I think that's what they're doing. But well, we can glance some things here. It's good to see some things already, although as I said, a lot of but we got some messages from managers who said they're already going to draft like August. I think some people 2025. We don't recommend that, but if you are all like veterans already, veterans, platinum, diamond, whatever rated players who play fantasy already like 10, 15 years or whatever, you're so good, then the rankings really won't care because I'm sure all of you will have your own rankings. So you can do that. But for others, they want some guidance also, like, what to do, who to pick, who are the steals as of the moment, and who are the overrated players as of
Yeah,
now.
yeah. With this type of rankings that the Yahoo released, there would be steals there, a lot of steals, especially if you're competing against players who look into those rankings. You'll probably miss out. They'll miss out a lot of players. Let's look at the rankings. I mean, we can share it here so that you can all see. So clearly, Jokic is number one. I don't think there's any doubt in that, right?
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. Maybe you have have any doubts
No,
or
no, no, no. I
yeah.
think Jokic, you'll be a fool not to draft Jokic at number one, given the what he showed last year plus the availability of him, always being available. But any surprises here? What's initial surprises that got you here?
In the top, let's talk top 14, I guess.
Yeah,
Like the first round.
yeah.
Yeah. So, well, of course, Trae Young. That stood out for me. Uh,
Too high.
that's a little high. That's a little high.
A
Not a
little high.
little, but it's high. Let's just put it that way. It's high. I know, as I said earlier, this is probably just a rough first draft of whoever is doing the rankings of Yahoo, the experts there. But still, seeing Trey there means that they value him, right? I mean, even if it's the first, just first update, it's still really high. So that surprised me. But outside of that, the top 10 is okay to me. I think the top 10 more or less is fine. I don't know
LaMelo
about
is a
you,
top
but
10, you think?
come again?
LaMelo is a top
Yeah,
10.
not top 10. I probably have him at the lower 11 or 12, but 10th is not that, that shocking or that outrageous for me. I have him around 12, 13, 11, 12, 13, 14. So 10 is just okay. 10
Yeah.
is okay for me.
Yeah. Other than Trey, I think the number two would be something we'll probably talk about in a bit. Dive
Yeah.
into the top 14 further. But looking at the list, LeBron James at 13 is, I think, a little high considering how he has been going. He's always overperformed, right? His draft rankings because people feel that he's old. But 13 is quite high.
Yes. Although last year he fell to 30 something, right? If you remember.
Yeah.
If
He's
and,
always been
if he,
falling when it comes to the drafts.
but if you remember, if he did get injured, he was actually a first rounder. And I believe he will still be a first rounder per game. He will be a first rounder per game this year. The question is, how many games will he play? That's the thing. That's why 13 is high only for that reason. But I still think he has it. He's a first round value guy if it's per game. I think the guy there, of course, it's Kyrie. I will not even touch that. We've talked about Kyrie forever.
Even if he's
per
traded,
game, 12 is not bad. I mean, if you look at per game, that's okay. But we all know you cannot.
Hey,
you cannot treat Kyrie per game.
He wants a cap in his contract.
Yes, 60 games or something.
60 games, no back-to-backs.
Yeah.
I mean, no back-to-backs.
No thanks. No thanks. I know per game is in fantasy it's really totals, not per game, but more so with Kyrie. Kyrie's just a different animal altogether. So 12 is no way. But the guy here that really surprised me is Ja Morant at 14. He will drop. 14.
No.
Yeah, I know he.
I don't think he'll drop too far. I don't think he'll drop too far.
But 14 is still high. He's not a first rounder. Far from it. He should be around late second, maybe 23, 24, maybe those that range. So I found 14 a little surprising for Ja Morant.
Not too surprising is Lillard. Actually, surprising that they still put him at 15, which is really not too far off from what he was going for in the past years, right?
He was top 7, top 8 the past years.
Yeah,
so
but
15.
I mean, last year I mean, considering that he did play, he's coming off an injury.
I look at it.
I was thinking he'll drop a little further, but yeah.
if he dropped any further, he's gonna be a big steal, in my opinion. 15 already for me is a steal for me.
Yeah.
Well, that's okay. You get
No, no,
one of my.
I think 15. I think 15. Not necessarily a steal. You still think about it.
I believe it's hard to get steals in the first round. But
Yeah,
I
know.
But I think if you get him at 15, that means it's the start of the second round. If it's at 14 team or 12 team early second, that's great value. I know he came from an injury prone season, but I'm looking at it that he has been playing hurt for the past 3 to 4 years. He got a long break. He's recharged. He's healthy. I don't think they would, rest him as really a lot. So I like him. You just look at 15 to 20. Kawhi, Butler, AD, Paul George, Bradley Beal, all of those guys did not end last year
Troublemakers
healthy.
in fantasy.
Yes, all of these guys were not healthy by the end of last year. So if you're be able to get one of the first rounders and get Lillard as a second rounder, man, that's a great start.
It's a back-to-back pick. So I mean, if you get someone like LeBron.
Well, yeah, possibly, probably, but
because
I think LaMelo will fall there. If you can get LaMelo and Lillard, that's gonna be great for your point guard and small ball strategy. So that's gonna be fine. I don't like to pick 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. If this is what the choices are, it's really, really brutal in my opinion.
Surprisingly, someone not there right now is Rudy Gobert, who usually stays in this range, right? Early second to mid second round picks. You think he should be there?
Yes, he should be here. Right? I know there will be some rebound drop blocks, probably a little, but he should still be top 20 in my opinion. Maybe 20, at the very least 20 to 24. He should still be here. And I also like Devin Booker here. I think he's a little low. I would pick him over the other guys I mentioned, over Jimmy Butler, Paul George, maybe not per game, but yeah, I feel like he's rather safe compared to like Shea, who's next. We don't know if they're gonna tank again, but it's possible they tank again. So I among these guys, the next batch of guys, I think Booker is the safer one here.
Yeah, looking at this, the early impression here in the second round. The second round would be a problem round for a lot of managers because there's no clear cut early second round choices, right? Other than maybe Lillard if he drops there. I mean, you're not gonna take Kawhi at what, 15, 16. I mean, it's so hard to get him there. Paul George, who even played last year, you'll probably have second thoughts already. Bradley Beal is another guy who, first rounder last year, you'll probably have second thoughts. I mean, Butler.
But Beal at 20 though, I think that's already okay. That's putting some allowance.
Yeah, but I mean, do you move him up over?
Possibly. Yeah, I'll probably
pick him
move
16,
him around
17 because like I said, the next Kawhi, Jimmy Butler, Anthony Davis, Paul George, these guys are iffy in terms of availability. Always.
Well,
iffy.
the answer there is that these are not the correct guys there. The correct guys, you mentioned one, Rudy Gobert, and then the next batch.
Let's look at the next batch. Let's look at the next
batch. Actually has a lot of guys there. Like Gobert is in the next batch, and then Haliburton, who's at 29. So if you're actually really drafting early, don't look at those guys. I'm gonna look at Haliburton, who I even feel like is possibly worth considering late in the first round. Very late. I mean, if you really want somebody who will probably play less injury prone.
I mean, let's just put it this way. Most likely it's, Haliburton could be a better fantasy option, I guess, than Ja Morant.
Yes, he is. Not
right?
maybe. He is a better fantasy option than Jamran.
Yeah, but
Sure.
because I think the hype in Ja is that he is a very uh, exciting player. That usually comes into play, right? When it comes to
Yep.
drafting, this guy is a very exciting player, and he's got higher, better potential. Yeah, the potential is higher when it comes to superstardom, I guess, for Ja Morant. But fantasy wise, Halliburton is far more superior fantasy wise than Ja Morant.
Even the point guards here, Van Vliet and Garland. I would love them over some of the guys we mentioned earlier. Previously, like Shea. I would like Garland over Shea just for the injury and tanking and resting in the end of the season possibility. And even Donovan Mitchell. I would love Garland and Van Vliet over Donovan Mitchell because as we said earlier, we don't know what will happen to Donovan Mitchell. Anthony Edwards. He's 36. I know they're deeper, but he's bound for another leap. So he's also there for me in a second round conversation. Anthony Edwards. So these guys there after that dangerous brutal stretch are the guys that I have a lot of guys I like in this stretch in this
Yeah.
group of players. Yeah,
Yeah. Don't draft Jaren Jackson Jr. because he's out 6 months.
yeah, that's
In
another
case you
early
don't know,
impression.
right?
Middleton also. Middleton is also injured,
Yeah.
so that's another guy.
Is he
Yeah.
gonna be out for long?
They say no, but of course the Bucks they're a pretty strong team. They could rest him. They could not play him back to back. So I'm not saying do not draft Middleton, but if third round, fourth round, maybe drop him a little bit lower to the 50s, and maybe that will be better.
Zion at 45.
Is low, right?
Yeah, he's probably gonna be drafted. 30s, 20s, even late 20s, I guess, to early 30s. Yeah, but I'm still staying away from Zion, I think.
Okay. Now that we're in the top 50, early impressions for us. I'll just put it here because we're already in the top 50. We don't see any rookies in the top 50. If you want to look for rookies, they're in the 200s, 300s. Only Banquero is right in the 90s or something. Even sophomores. I saw Mobley, but we don't see Scotty Barnes, and I did see Cade, but some of the rookies last year who performed are not here, are not in the top 100. A lot of them. So that's one impression I have with the Yahoo's first rankings. It's very skewed towards veterans, and the young ones are kind of out of sight. So if you can take advantage of that in your drafts, if you're playing with managers who are relying solely on these rankings, you can make a killing. Like in the top 50, I don't see Scotty Barnes, I don't see Chet Holmgren.
That's too high, though. I mean, for Chet Holmgren to get into the top 50.
I don't think so.
No, that's too high. Come on, that's too high. Evan
No.
Mobley last year, was he top 50 when before the draft, before the season started?
No, he was 70s to 80s, but you will not get Chet Holmgren outside of the top 50.
Yeah, I know. But does he deserve a top 50 slot?
Yes, he does.
You think?
He does deserve a top 50. I don't think. I'm sure he will be a top 50 guy.
Honestly, I don't think he'll get past the fourth round, but yeah. And some might reach for him in the late third there.
That is the part where I'm not comfortable with. Some people are already picking him at 30, 31.
Yeah.
Those.
I wouldn't be surprised if that happens.
That's high. I'm talking about 45 to 50. For me, Chet at 45 to Chet or whatever at 45 to 50, I think it's just right. It's just right. And there's an upside there. There's possibility of him really blowing up. Just for the blocks alone, just for 3 points and blocks. Brook Lopez was top 50, is being picked in the 50 something range for those skill set, and Chet is way better than Brook Lopez already at this point. So yeah, I think he deserves top 50, not top 30, not top 35.
But
45 to 50.
Brook Lopez is what, 300 pounds?
Oh, that I the only reason that I'm probably going to be staying away from Holmgren. One is because of the Holmgren fanboys who will pick him 30s. Number two is, yeah, as you said, the injury, it will happen.
I'll
There
give
will
you
be injuries.
another reason. Uh, it's the OKC Thunders, and
True, true.
as we've seen with Shea, one slight injury would kill that the fantasy value of Chet, and we've seen it. Josh Giddey was doing well. They shut him down really early, right?
Yeah,
Shea was not
true.
shut down, but the year before he was shut down really early, and that's one thing we always have to look out for, especially when you're drafting any OKC players.
I agree.
Let's go back to the top 25. I know we talked about Kawhi, Butler, Anthony Davis, Paul George. Among these problem child, who are you most comfortable getting? Maybe not at this range, not at the early first round, but who has the high potential, game changer type of fantasy contribution, do you think?
It's AD. It's still AD. I know we'll laugh about it. He's gonna be injured, always going to the locker room. But actually, AD at 18 isn't bad. It's not really bad. I know the free throws. We're not sure if it's gonna be 73%, 72%, 66%, or is it going to go back to a previous AD. But it's a new coach. It's a new system. They came off a really disappointing year, and the players around him are younger. I think AD is motivated to play this year, and he can't control his health, but at least last year it was just not just the health problems. Last year he was really not that. I mean, just okay, but not really AD. You get what I'm saying. So I think this year he can improve. Darvin Ham has already said they're going to play the offense around him. So I think the stats, the rebounds will improve, the blocks will be there. So AD, it's really AD for me.
Kawhi, no comeback.
He's gonna be okay. He's gonna be okay, but I don't know how much he'll play in the regular season as of now. It scares me. Load management too high. There are a lot of good players at this point that I may stay away for at this range.
All right, so let's do a quick mock draft, at least in the first round mock draft. I know, Jokic is a clear number one pick, right? You'll start off with the number two because that alone would be something that you're gonna be thinking about already. I mean, if you have the number two pick, it's gonna be hard to pick. Who would be your number two?
I'll give you number two. You go pick number two.
I like Giannis at number two, actually.
Okay. Yeah.
I like Giannis at number two. I think, 9 is a little too low. I mean, Giannis is a beast. Availability-wise and stat-wise. I'm just hoping he improves more on the free throw. But last year, he was decent enough. So I'll go Giannis number two.
Yeah, I agree. We're the same there. I know he's not perfect, but looking at this top 12, there are lots of question marks with everybody. So the player that I'm most comfortable is Giannis. You'll probably be surprised. I'll go Luka at number 3. People will say, "Hey, you're the guy who said Luka was not a first rounder." Yeah, I know that was before. At this point, Luka 74% free throw shooting. It's improving. If it goes to 78, 79, that will make it even better. And as I said, so many question marks with the other players, but Dallas, even with Christian Wood, is still Luka Doncic's team. So at this point in this season, that's the best you can hope for with a first rounder. The usage, possibly less injury prone, less risk. So I'm gonna go Luka number 3.
And that's interesting because Giannis and Luka always get flack for their free throws.
Yeah.
But you can already see they're improving their free throws bit by bit. And with all the uncertainties with the other players, it's hard to pick the others over these two. I'll take Joel Embiid at number 4. I think that's he was a beast last year. At least somehow he quelled some injury concerns last year. I mean, he played almost probably around what 85% of the season. Um, so I think it's safer to get him. Plus, the production has been consistently good last year.
Is Luka your number 3 though?
Uh mm, yeah, yeah. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. If
Yeah,
Lucas
so
goes number 2, and maybe if there's other choice, I'll probably also still get Joel and be the number 3. I don't mind doing that as well.
at least we're so far 4 picks in. We're in agreement so
Yeah.
far with all the picks that we have made. At number 5, it gets tricky, but I'll probably go with Harden, back-to-back Sixers pick. People might say, he didn't look good last year in Philly. Again, fantasy also is about narratives. He gave up money. He wants to win. I think he's gonna be in shape. He's gonna be, again, motivation is there, and he's still good. He's not Harden before, but still pretty damn good. I mean, not top 1 or 2, but still elite. So
Last
I
year
have
he
him at
had
5.
some nice glimpses of old Harden. I mean, there were some games wherein he played really well before he was shipped to Philly. He struggled a bit in Philly, but having said that, though, I think I like Harden a little lower, maybe the 6 or 7 spot. I like Carl Anthony Towns at number 5 still. I think the old
Okay.
reliable, safer pick. I mean, if you're onto the safer pick, I'm not too worried about Gobert, but I think Towns is a safer pick among. If I look down on all the players, you know what you're gonna get. He's probably gonna give you a little less, but not too bad as well.
So that's 6. Towns is 6.
Yeah.
Correct.
Now
Yeah.
Towns, I'm gonna pick Towns 6. But if I had a choice between Harden and Towns, I might go Towns first.
I'll be okay with that. I'm okay with that. It's between Harden and Towns, but I guess I gave Towns a little bump down because of Gobert's entry. But I'm okay with him at 5. Has been a very durable guy so far, although there was a season with injuries, but so far all good for Towns. And 7 for me, I'll go KD. Of course, I know that there's a possibility he holds out, he retires. I don't know what you can expect from
He's not
KD
gonna
at this
retire. He
point,
said that already.
but he can hold out or whatever. But assuming, I'm just, if I knew that he's gonna be traded already, or his status will be more confirmed, I might even pick him higher. But I put him here because of those concerns, so I have him at 7. I have him at 7.
Now 8 is tough. I'd go.
How
Man,
about the champ? Your favorite guy, Steph.
at 8. I mean, he missed a bunch of games last year. Well, not really a bunch, but uh yeah, maybe I'll take my chance. No, I'm torn because I think I still like Tatum at 8. Uh, if you're more into the across the board contribution, but if you want to build better around, the assist category, the threes, I mean, I'd rather go Trey Young than Steph.
Yeah,
I mean, so I guess
I
those
agree.
are my 2 options here at 8, depending on what you need or what you want to build your team around. Trey Young at 8 or Tatum at 8 would be fine. The problem with Steph, it's not really the stats, it's really the availability.
Yes. Well, the stats also. I mean,
The
the
stats
regular
when you
season.
need them the most.
Yeah,
The
in the
stats
regular
when you need
season,
them the most.
yeah, he's a little question mark. But if whoever you pick, if it's Trey, I'll pick Tatum. If it's Tatum, I'll pick Trey. We're at what? We're at 8 and 9, right? So
Yeah.
8 and 9. I think these 2 guys, young guys, again, less injury prone, less risky, less usage problems. No, basically that their team is theirs. Atlanta and Boston, they're the top dog. They're the franchise players. So I think we're both in agreement at 8 and 9.
Yeah.
So it's your turn again at 10. Giving you all the hard choices
Yeah,
because
I know, right?
so so
All right,
10
I
right
think
now, I guess.
I'm okay with Steph at 10.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
okay
I
with
agree
Steph at
also.
10. If
Yeah.
you look at it, the next best option would be LaMelo. Although LaMelo has been good, I still don't trust him as much, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, whatever LaMelo contributes, I think players like Halliburton can, do that as well. I mean, do those stuff as well. Equally good. Um, he won't have his usual partner in Miles Bridges, so that might, you know, dip his numbers a bit. And he wasn't as consistent last year. So I'll take Steph here.
Yeah, Steph at 10 is very good. I think that's a good spot for him. And Lamelo at 11 for me. As I said, Lamelo for me is not too far off the 10th spot he is right now in Yahoo. I think with although Miles Bridges not being there in Charlotte might
Yeah,
hurt him a
that
little because they have a good chemistry.
yeah.
But I think overall Charlotte is still the same, same team. They have good scorers,
Charlotte though has a new coach,
yeah.
so we don't know how that impacts Lamelo's game. But yeah, they have a new coach, and it's a defensive-minded coach, right?
Yeah, but I think it's again it's gonna the offense will be centered around him. That will be built around him. So I think it's gonna be fine. 11 at this point of the draft. Finding someone like Lamelo is really hard already. Someone with the skill set profile of Lamelo is a win. So I'm gonna go with Lamelo at 11.
Right.
Again, another hard choice for you. So go ahead. The last three
So
picks, 12.
I'm skipping Kyrie. I don't like Kyrie, especially in the first round. I mean, um, LeBron, I'm still iffy in the first round. Really, I like LeBron more in the second round. I'd go Dame, I guess. You're right. There's really no other option here. 12 onwards, I guess. That's better than Dame. You're gonna take the risk. This is the guy to risk on, I guess, in the first round.
Yes. As I said a while ago, it's clearly a hard spot to be in. Late first is a hard spot to be in. And actually, it will be reflected. Now, Dame, we've talked about Dame a while ago. It will be reflected on 13th and 14th. I really do not have an clear answer to you right now, but I'm going to go Halliburton because I just can't pick Jimmy Butler. I just can't pick Ja Morant this high. It could be LeBron, but I'm a safer guy. I don't want to go, all risky. So I'll go Halliburton at 13.
That's 13 or is that 12?
That's 13. That's 13 already. So we
Alright,
have the last pick now. We're at the last pick, 14.
So who are we gonna get here? I don't like all of these. I mean, Beal might be the closest. I'll look at the second page. He went into the Halliburton.
Well, you have to make a pick.
I know, right? I mean,
Yeah.
that's the biggest problem here.
Your choices basically at this point, you have to at this point if you're at 14, whoever you pick would be a risk player. You could go AD again and then try to hope for a first round value. We can go Kyrie because he's a first round per game guy. You can go Jimmy Butler because also he's a first round per game. Kawhi, if he plays 70 games, is clearly first round. So even of course LeBron. So all those players that I just mentioned.
You know what? That the problem with this is that I was able to pick Paul George late first round, disappointed, right? I was able to pick Jimmy Butler late first round, disappointed. I had the team with AD, late first round pick, disappointed. So how would you expect me to pick these guys on pretty much the same round, same pick I picked them last year, and not get disappointed, right?
It's about
that's the challenge. So you're right. That 12 to 14 spot is going to be really tough.
You know what will make it better for you is if they're LeBron fanboys, they're Ja Morant fanboys. These guys get picked at these positions, and then it drops some of the other players down.
You know
That
what?
will help.
I'd rather
For
pick
Kawhi,
LeBron at 14, I think.
yes. Would you pick LeBron 14?
Yeah.
That's what you're gonna do.
Now that I've thought about it, I'd rather pick LeBron 14. I'm
I
thinking
agree.
I was initially thinking of just moving up Gobert to 14.
Nah,
Not really
too
too
high.
high for me.
For me, it's too
Is
high.
it too high? You have a back-to-back pick. Even if you don't pick him, you can pick him at 15, right?
I feel it's too high. Right now, if he was in Utah, I would say
I
it's
saw
not.
Gobert
But
shooting some threes.
okay, I don't think that will happen. I don't think that will happen this season.
But yeah,
I
LeBron, I think I'd rather pick LeBron over those guys. You know what's sad? The DeJounte Murray trade skewed this a bit. He would have went
yeah.
there. I think he would have entered the top 14 for sure. But you know, him in Atlanta made this a more difficult choice to pick him at that early. But yeah,
I
I
can
think I'd
see
rather go
people.
LeBron.
I can see people going Kawhi. I can see people going LeBron. I can see people going
Yeah, but
AD. These three, and then probably Bradley Beal or Paul George. These are the guys that will probably be picked at 14. I would be more LeBron at this point, but of course it's August. We still have 2 months to go. Things will change as we go near. But the top 13 for me, pretty solid. I think we're in agreement with a lot of those. Not much difference. I don't foresee any difference in those top 13 in my opinion. It's 14 downwards. The 14 in the early second round part where I think will be a question mark and will change. I may be Kawhi next week. I may be Paul George the week
you know,
after and Mark AD or
I think for
where
14, my I guess my top two options, if I were to choose, it's either going to be LeBron or Bradley Beal. I think those two. Among these injured players last year, I think Beal is the safest there. Uh, I don't trust Butler. I don't trust Kawhi. I don't trust Paul George, given that they're known for load management. Teams at least manage them, and we know what AD can do. But the tip I guess we can give you guys is that do not pick these players back to back. Do not pick Kawhi and AD back to back. That's
and that's a
going.
challenge. That's a challenge because as we said, they're bunched here. We don't even talk about Kyrie. Kyrie is also here. So
I
they're
mean,
all bunched and even Zion. Let's put Zion in this list because Zion will be technically people have forgotten about how good he was when he played. But he
yeah.
was really good. He was really good. So he's even here also. So how it's really hard not to pick two of these guys when you have back-to-back picks. But you really have to
No, I think
resist that urge.
at the least, if you look at the list, Bam Adebayo's there. I think that's not a bad second or first pick in the second round.
Yeah.
Over maybe an AD. At least you're gonna be sure about availability, right? I mean, you're gonna be more comfortable about the availability rather than AD, right? I mean, the potential of AD is higher. We talked about it even last year, but come on, last year we felt that at 12, 13, he was a steal. He wasn't. He didn't even end up being a steal.
If he didn't get injured, he probably would have
Yeah,
been just okay.
I know, but again,
But yeah, I understand.
AD is in the Joel Embiid range right now in the sense that
Yeah.
before last season, everyone was scared about picking Joel Embiid because of he fell to 8, 9, right? Embiid.
Yeah.
But the potential we
Sometimes
all
lower.
know,
Sometimes lower.
right? And last year, Embiid proved that he can stay healthy throughout the season. So I think we need one good AD season for that to happen. For managers to trust AD here.
I think since we told them that we don't suggest they do this, I'll give some names. I gave Booker a while ago. I'll give Sabonis. I know he's lots of holes in the fantasy wise that doesn't block. Free throws are so turns the ball over a lot for a big guy. But at this point, I can see people going with him at 16, 15, 17. Because we know that Sacramento will play him a lot. He's gonna get minutes. So Sabonis is a guy to consider at that range. Not
Yeah,
14, but somewhere there.
and at 25 he dropped already from what he was
Yeah,
previously going for. I think
yeah.
last year he went really sometimes first round. He went late first round last year. He could be a safer pick than
Yes.
the
But
four guys that we talked about.
but I'll disagree with you on one thing that you said you are most comfortable with Beal, I think. I feel like I'm more comfortable with Paul George than Beal. I know he's also an injury prone guy, but there's load management. But I think they're load manage Kawhi more than Paul George. And Paul George, there are seasons where he gets injured. There are seasons where he's okay. So it's really a hit or miss thing with Paul George. So I'll be more comfortable with Paul George. But we're both in agreement that Jimmy Butler is somebody we both do not like and will not draft. So that's something we're agreeing on.
Yeah, he's going to be load managed a lot because he plays a lot of minutes too when he plays, and they're not as deep as the Clippers. I guess the Clippers are
Yeah.
deeper, so they could play Paul George lesser minutes, but still allow him to play. Right, so those are the difference. Yeah, that's the early look into the rankings. I mean, don't put too much into it. Don't put too much. We just wanted to have some fun with the ranking. I mean, the first round choices were nice, but looking down, it's really a skewed ranking, like Kumish said, not the right rankings yet. So you have to do your research if you're gonna be drafting as early as now or next week, because you have to research which players have been really way down, have been put way down, way out
Just look
the rankings.
just look at all the top rookies this year, put them in a list. The top rookies last year, put them in a list, because like Herb Jones, for instance, he's around 200 something in this rank. That's ridiculous. that's
Yeah.
that's impossible.
Last year's
Franz
rookie
Wagner,
batch was good. Or last year's rookie
Franz
batch was
Wagner
good.
is 100 something here in this list. So those players, just put them down and try to get them at the right range if people forgot about them, since they're not going to be visible. They're at rate 200 something. You'll not be able to
I
find
wouldn't.
them.
The from last year's rookies, I think probably 6 or 7 of those rookies should be in the top 100. Right? We talk about Mobley, Scotty Barnes,
Cade.
Herb Jones, Cade, right?
Mhm.
Who else did we talk about?
Jalen Green actually is
Jalen Green
also
could still
gonna be a top
could
100.
still crack the top 100, right?
Franz
Those are 5.
Wagner.
Franz Wagner was good enough to at least
You know
be
what's
in
funny?
consideration.
The only rookie that was there, sophomore, is Josh Giddey.
I was just about to
54th.
say, Josh Giddey is a guy that would probably be in that top 100 right now because he's one of the more hype sophomores, or at least rookie last year. So yeah, but it's skewed. It's too early to draft, guys. It's too early to draft. But if you're excited to do it, then go do you. And yeah, we'll just hopefully this help somehow, at least the first round rankings help you guys in your draft, in the way you'll be drafting this year. All right, that's it for this quick episode of Fantasy Bench Warmers. We're excited for the season ahead, especially for the fantasy leagues. So hopefully you guys enjoy that as well. We'll see you guys next week. Hopefully with the schedule, some breakdown of the schedule, see what types of settings maybe, or how to pick your leagues, some league etiquettes. Probably we're gonna talk about those things as well in the coming weeks. All right, we'll see you guys again for next week's episode. Bye, guys.